It's Uvalde Radio. Robert Miguel here with you, and in an effort to just bring you some great information, especially in these times where we really can't get out and do much, can't really go see a show, but we want to do our best to bring you some new, upcoming, some veterans, some great artists. I got with me on the phone a phenomenal country artist, Mr. Mike Love.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Thanks for the applause. We're not getting any of that right now, you know.
Right, I know, it's crazy times. Now first of all, we're going to get into all that Corona stuff and how it's affected the music industry. But first, I got to say this. Of course, your name is Mike Love. You got a band, so you can find what online? Are you MikeLoveBand.com website?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
okay.
MikeLoveBand.com. You can check us out there.
So you're relatively new to me. I know you've been doing this a while, kind of off and on. But so first thing I did was Google, trying to find out a little bit more about you. And you come to find out that there's a Beach Boy named Mike Love, and then some Hawaiian, Jamaican, reggae artist also out there named Mike Love.
There is, and I didn't realize that either, until I started searching, and I thought, well, maybe I should have changed my name a long time ago, but, it's my name. I'm just kind of rolling with it. So as long as people search Mike Love Country, you can easily find me. It's a little tough.
No, and that's what I did. I was like, okay, Mike Love Country, boom, right at you. So again, man, thanks so much for taking the time. You've got a new single that's hitting Texas radio, and from what I understand, you're not actually from Texas. You're from Kansas. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. I'm from Kansas, and I tour the Midwest and played music for a lot of years, and we decided to, work in the Texas market, which reaches into Kansas and, Oklahoma. A lot of the artists are, over the years are from Oklahoma as well that do the Texas Red Dirt music. And so it just seemed like a good fit. We're not too far, and we're kind of a regional band. And this is our fourth single, actually, and our last single was Lost Highway. I think it went to number 42 on the TRR. And I don't know, we just feel at home in that regional area. And I know Texas is really proud of their Texas artists. They support them. And even though we're from Kansas, we've gotten a lot of support as well, so we really appreciate that.
Well, Texas country, I think, is more of a genre now than it is a regional thing. What I like about you is your music tends to be more traditional country, in Texas country, as opposed to that stuff Nashville's cranking out. And I don't want to, it's really easy to get up there and criticize Nashville. I feel like they're just not doing true country anymore. And I can say that. I can say I still like a lot of it, but I like a lot of genres. I kind of feel like, what you're doing is more along the lines of traditional country. What does that have anything to do with the way you're kind of now marketing yourself and who you're embracing? Because from what I understand, you've done recording and work in Kansas. You've worked with the Nashville people, done that thing, and now you can spending a little bit more time with Texas country artists, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I've done, for over the years, I've toured all over Las Vegas, Florida, the whole nation, for years, and got a lot of road time, and also owned a studio and recorded a lot of artists as well. But right now, it's just kind of nice, where the music industry is. It's kind of set up for the independent artist, Still promote yourself, do your kind of music, and with online, with streaming and downloads. Smaller guy learns a little chance, so it's fun, and we just want to spread the word about our music, and there's a platform for it, I guess, now. In the old days, all the big labels kind of controlled everything, and now at least if you want to work it, little guy can get his name out there,
Well, I was reading over your bio, and it kind of alludes to the fact that, you're a relatively new name, but you've been in the business a while, and from what I understand, you come from a family of musicians. So, and you remember those days, where, musicians were going for the record deal, and the label handed you the money, and they put you on the road, and they did all that stuff, and like you said, it's a lot different now. You can put out a record independently, or you can just put out a few singles, sporadically at your own choosing. How has that industry changed? Industry changes over, your lifetime. How's that affected? And what parts do you miss about the old ways, and what parts have you embraced about the new ways?
I think about the thing I miss about the old ways is there's a lot more attendance to shows. And don't get me wrong, people go see, a lot of bands and stuff. But it seemed like, in times past, you really had to go see an artist to go see him, Like, hey, so-and-so's coming to town, we're going to go see him. Now, they can see you on YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. They can see you anywhere. So I feel like sometimes the ticket sales may be a little bit different these days, because everybody's overstimulated. So that's the old. But what I love about the new is, I record right now in Tyler, Texas, with Drew down there and Greg Hunt, and killer studio, killer musicians, and I'm a little guy, but I still have access to work with great producers and great musicians, and I think in the old days that was only for the big producers, the people with the money, lots of money. So it's kind of cool.
Now, a minute ago you mentioned overstimulated. I think that is just a fantastic way to describe today's entertainment. Even when you do get to a live show, man, you gotta see through 18, 20 cell phones in your face,
Yeah.
And again, there's footage everywhere, just kind of like what we're going through now, getting into this coronavirus. I think it's fantastic that many artists are bringing the show on the internet. They're doing that kind of Venmo, PayPal, taking some money. But now we're oversaturated on live music on the internet, right? I mean, it's kind of like,
yeah,
it's all kind of getting lost. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy it, but I really do. I'm old school, so I really miss the day of, hearing about the show on the radio, waiting for those tickets to go on sale, waiting in line at a Sears Ticketmaster,
right,
and getting those tickets, holding on to those paper tickets for maybe months at a time,
Yeah.
And then showing up at the show, and it was a kind of a whole big thing. Now it all seems very just more disposable. So anyway, that's just me getting on my old school radio rant. But man,
I totally agree with you, though. Yeah, 100%.
So let's talk about the music now. You mentioned, you've done your thing for a while. You took a break. From what I understand, you're a businessman, so you don't have to rely on your income musically to make it work. What's that like for you?
Yeah, in the old days, I was a full-time musician and tour, raise kids, doing all that, and it was kind of rough. But these days, I do have another company. I'm a home builder, and so I'm a home builder by trade. I do that, and so it's kind of nice for me. I would say I get to have the best of both worlds, with the economic world we live in now as far as music. It's tough out there for the music, but I still definitely want to play. I'd like to play at least 100 days a year. Doesn't always happen, but it's nice for me. I get the best of both worlds. I get in my bus on a Thursday and go do 2 or 3 shows, and I'm back on Sunday, and then Monday, I'm back hitting the pavement doing my other job. So for me, I'm pretty lucky. It works out that way. I don't have to choose one or the other. When I was younger, I did play music full time, but now I don't have to.
Well, very cool, man. It sounds like you made a few good life choices there along the way. Again, we're talking to Mike Love, a Texas country artist, got a new song on Texas Country Radio. It's called Wild Horse, so we're going to play that here in a minute. But yeah, let's just keep on getting to know you. Let's talk about the band. You got a group of guys you work with. Do you get hired guns? What's your philosophy on getting that live music out to the masses?
Well, I have some guys that I play with actually for a long time. My guitar player, Brian, we played together for about 15 years in a couple of different times. We took a break in the middle, but so this last time I did take a couple of 3 years off, and a little longer than that. From the road, I was still doing writing and recording. When I called Brian, I said, hey, let's get a band back together, and he's like, well, I'm playing right now. I got a band together, so I just grabbed Brian's whole band, and we just hit the road. And that was about 6 years ago. So this run, we've been about 6 years straight playing. Brian and Jeremy on the drums, and Richard on the bass guitar. So we're 4-piece, and we travel with the sound guy. But yeah, we just keep it short, small, and simple.
Well, it sounds like he made it easy for you. You already kind of get a band that's kind of greased up, ready to go for you, huh?
Yeah, they're already ready to go, so it made it's a little easier. So we just jumped right in there and hit the road. We've got to do a lot of cool shows, and we've opened up for quite a few guys, out there, some of the bigger guys, and done some of our own headlining shows too. So
hey, go ahead and name drop, man. Tell me who you've opened up for. It's always good to hear that stuff.
Oh gosh, I mean, we've Diamond Rio, Pat Green, some of the 90s guys, some of the Texas guys, Stoney LaRue, done shows with him, Cody Canada, the list goes on and on. In the 90s of the early 2000s, we did a lot of the guys from back then, Tim McGraw, all those, like Toby Keith, Jason Aldean, done tons of shows with all them, early 2000s. But now it's more the Texas thing, we're doing a lot more with those kind of guys.
Now, with some of the bigger artists that you've opened for, or maybe played, on the same festival, have you learned any cool lessons in the business from anybody, or just kind of taken note?
I would say the only lesson I learned is, how to treat people. There's some people out there that are really big stars and they act like big stars. There's some guys that are big stars and they're just really nice guys, and they treat people, even the opening band, well. And I've had, I did a show at Daryl Worley, one of the nicest guys I ever hung out with. Mm-hmm. He actually came back after his show, got on stage and played with us for about an hour. Just good people, like that. And I've done shows with people that are really too big for their britches, but whatever. So I guess I've learned to always be nice to everyone, and treat everyone with respect.
And that's a great lesson. I mean, from a guy who's been in radio for a long time, and same thing, you interview, you talk to a lot of artists, some bigger, some up and coming, some that were huge, and then they're kind of, past their prime,
right.
Or they're, and it's amazing, how that interaction can change your entire viewpoint on them, and sure, you go, you know what, hey, maybe they were having an off day, or maybe they're just not a people person, but at the end of the day, it's kind of disappointing, right, whenever they're jerks.
Yeah, well, and as an opening band, we're always been out here struggling, trying to make a name for ourselves, and they were struggling one time trying to make a name for themselves, mm-hmm. So when someone treats you that way, you just, you feel like, come on, man, we all come from the same place. Yeah, you made it big. Yeah, you got tons of money, but we're still out here trying to scratch a living, at least give us a little respect, So it's kind of like that. Yeah. But, I know they get bombarded by everybody when they're really big, and we don't bombard them. I'm just saying, I've had right. guys that are just really nice, and then guys that are just, really rude.
Absolutely. Well, again, we are talking to Mike Love. He's got a brand new single called Wild Horse. Going to play that here in a minute. I guess let's go ahead and just talk about the future, man. So you got a current single now. It's kind of a one-off, right? You didn't do a record or an EP. But what's the plans in the future coming for you?
Well, I've been working on a new EP. I did a EP prior to this, and we released 2 songs off of it. And then this is just a one-off. I really like this song. It's actually been around for a long time in our arsenal, but I brought it back to life and really like that one. But my next thing is going to be an EP. It's just kind of hard to do albums anymore, with the current budgets, the way people don't, honestly download music, they stream it. So the revenues are a lot different these days. So my philosophy is to do some EPs and just release singles sporadically through the year,
Now, do you like to press, the occasional CD to sell at shows or sell online? Or, do you still like physical copies at all? Or are you just totally embracing the digital age?
No, I still do physical copies. I carry my full album. It's called Gypsy Man with me. It's still the full album I sell. Okay. And then my last EP, I have a physical copy to sell. So at the shows, we still sell those. You just see online, mostly people are streaming, and download a single here and there. So it's just harder to do a full album anymore. I like doing a full album. I'm old school. I like to have the full album, the eight page with the lyrics, and everybody can read it and talk about it. Mm-hmm. But it's just still hard to sell those, and do a full album. So, unless I get bigger, I don't know.
But you're right. The way we meter success these days is so different. We kind of go by how many spins or downloads your Spotify, has gone. And if you put 10 songs out there all at once, it spreads all that out. It thins it out. But anyway, man, it's really been cool getting to talk to you and getting to know you. So I guess I know with the coronavirus thing going on, you got any shows still planned? Any festivals? How is this affecting you personally as a musician?
I tell you what, it's everything I've had April, May, and June is pretty much out, and then trying to book ahead of that. Mm-hmm. Nobody's really wanting to commit. They're just kind of all sitting around seeing what happens. So yeah, it's definitely killed everything on that aspect of it. Still got to pay the bus payment. Still got to keep that going.
Yeah.
So hopefully this thing gets turned around pretty quick.
Yeah. We need to snap out of it. Absolutely. Of course. Yeah. Health first, but the economy's taking a beating. Entertainment, especially, what we're doing here in radio is also it's being affected. But I guess we got to stay healthy, and I guess you're lucky in a sense that you do have another revenue stream, right? How's that working on that side of it in the home building?
It's okay, but if they shut us down, then everything will stop there too, And then where I'm at in Kansas, right now. They can still, my guys can still work. But I think tomorrow at noon, there's a shelter-in-place coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if the construction industry, there's a whole list of who can go or not go to work. So we're going to check it out. But, yeah, we hope we can just keep on moving. You know, I'm sure everybody out there is in the same boat. We're not anything special, but, you know, hopefully we can all just squeak by here.
Well, man, I wish you the best, and I'll be praying for you and, you know, all the people around you in your circle, and, of course, the industry, too. Because, yeah, this is it's weird times. So, hey, man, I really do appreciate you talking to me and getting to know you. It's been really cool. We are going to play your new song. I guess go ahead and give us again, you said Wild Horse, kind of one of your older tunes that you kind of took back in the studio and kind of revamped. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. It was one from actually probably 1999 or 2000 there, and it just, I still love it. It's still my kind of music, and I had never released, you know, to radio, and I thought this would be a great tune, you know, doing my Texas music, and I think it'd just be a great single. And so, yeah, we decided to update it and re-record it, make it sound today, and I just love it.
Well, I think it's a great tune also, and I thank Jen, your radio lady, for hooking us up and making this happen. Before we get off the phone with you, before we play your song, go ahead and remind us once again the best way to find you online, because we want everybody to go find you, Mike Love.
The best way to find us is MikeLoveBand.com or Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. It's all Mike Love Band, so or Mike Love Country. So,
Well, right on. Again, Mike Love here on the phone. Thank you so much for checking in with us, sir. We're going to play your brand new song. It's called Wild Horse, and it's right here on Uvalde Radio. Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you, man.
Everything I own, this old truck, full tank of gas and a little luck. First down to Houston, then San Antonio. Old 45 is a lonesome road. My whole life is waiting there. I've got a date with a pretty little man, dancing with a wild horse, dancing with a wild. Chestnut, seen her before. First time she threw me, I didn't score. I'll ride her this time until the end. I'll take the buckle, I'm gonna win. Nothing else that'll take me higher than to have my legs wrapped around her fire. Everything I own, this old truck, full tank of gas and a little love.